Ethan Carter, at 34 years old, embodies the ideal image of a successful millionaire. With intelligence, confidence, and a vast fortune inherited from Carter Industries, he is seen as the epitome of perfection. Yet beneath this glamorous facade, Ethan faces an overwhelming pressure: his grandfather's will. According to the will, if Ethan does not marry before turning 35, the entire family fortune will be transferred to Nathan, his cousin, bound by blood but filled with envy and schemes against him. To Ethan, this condition feels like a trap. He has never believed that marriage should be dictated by a legal document or by the ambition to inherit wealth. He cherishes his single, free lifestyle, steering clear of binding relationships. However, his grandfather, once a powerful industry figure, seemed intent on controlling Ethan's life even beyond the grave. Nathan, the cousin, is not one to sit idly and wait for his chance. For years, he has seen Ethan as the greatest obstacle to his path toward power and wealth. Nathan knows that eliminating Ethan is the key to claiming the vast fortune for himself. Thus, he devises a meticulous plan, staging a car accident to take Ethan's life. On that fateful night, Ethan's car lost control on a treacherous mountain road. The horrifying crash sent the vehicle plummeting into a ravine. Miraculously, Ethan survived thanks to his seatbelt and the car's safety features. However, the incident left him not only with physical pain, but also a stark warning. Nathan was willing to go to any lengths to claim the inheritance. Lying on his hospital bed, Ethan realized he could no longer live under the naive assumption that the law or ethics would shield him from Nathan. He needed a plan, a strategy he alone could control. So he made a bold decision to fake a disability. The image of a vibrant, strong young millionaire was replaced with that of a frail man reliant on a wheelchair for mobility. Ethan understood that this facade would not only mislead Nathan, but also buy him time to prepare for the ultimate showdown. Yet behind the composed gaze and polite smiles, Ethan remained a man who refused to be subdued. Quietly, he calculated every move, not just to retain his wealth, but also to protect his very life. The battle between Ethan and Nathan was not merely a game of power, but the greatest test of Ethan's life. He would face tough decisions, treacherous schemes, and truths he never anticipated. But Ethan knew one thing for certain: he would not allow himself to fail. Welcome to today's meaningful story. Let us know where you are from to help us see how far this story has spread across the world. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our inspiring tales. In another corner of the city, Anna Bennett faced the greatest nightmare of her life. Her father, John Bennett, once a talented businessman, now stood on the brink of prosecution and imprisonment due to massive debts from a failed investment project. This financial collapse not only took away his entire career, but also pushed the Bennett family into a desperate situation. Anna, John Bennett's only daughter, was a young woman full of strength, resilience, and self-sacrifice. Since childhood, she had been raised by her father with love and a deep belief in the value of perseverance. Now facing the imminent loss of the father she had always admired and loved, Anna felt more powerless than ever. Every effort she made seemed to lead to a dead end. Anna had Ryan Harper, her longtime boyfriend, who had been by her side through all of life's ups and downs. Their love was deep, but neither of them had the financial means to rescue her family from this crisis. Ryan tried his best, borrowing from friends and looking for new job opportunities, but their efforts felt like drops in the ocean. The mounting pressure grew unbearable, and Anna began to realize that their love alone might not be enough to overcome this hardship. One day at an opulent charity gala that Anna attended in the hope of finding help, she caught the attention of Ethan Carter. Even seated in a wheelchair, Ethan exuded an aura of confidence and power. No one could have guessed that he was quietly searching for the right person to fulfill his own plans. Anna had no idea that her presence had immediately drawn Ethan's attention. In a brief moment, he saw in her a unique woman, strong, decisive, yet carrying a gentle and selfless heart. After overhearing her story through a short conversation with her friends at the gala, Ethan realized this was the perfect opportunity to execute his plan. The following day, Ethan arranged to meet Anna in private. To her astonishment, he made a straightforward proposal. "I'll pay off all your father's debts. In return, you must marry me, indefinitely and without asking any questions. Anna froze in disbelief. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. A stranger, though wealthy and powerful, was making an offer so unexpected and calculated. True to her strong sense of pride, she immediately refused. "I'm not a commodity to be traded, and I will not sell my love for money," Anna replied firmly, her eyes flashing with indignation. However, Ethan remained composed. He had anticipated her immediate rejection, but also understood that the weight of her circumstances might make her reconsider. Before leaving, he left her with a final message. "You don't need to answer now, but if you change your mind, contact me. I'm not joking." In the days that followed, the Bennett family's situation worsened. Creditors relentlessly threatened them, and John Bennett sank deeper into despair. The image of the strong father Anna had once known was now reduced to a frail man, directionless and burdened with guilt for plunging his family into crisis. Ryan, despite his unwavering support, could do little more. He tried to console Anna by assuring her that things would get better, but his own helplessness was evident. Anna felt the crushing weight of responsibility. She wasn't just facing the prospect of losing her father, but also the despair of realizing that the man she loved couldn't provide the help they desperately needed. Finally, after a long night of contemplation, Anna made the hardest decision of her life. She knew Ethan wasn't the man she loved, and this marriage would be nothing more than a transaction. But to save her father, she had no other choice. The next morning, Anna went to meet Ethan at his mansion. Her eyes reflected exhaustion, but also determination. "I agree," she said, her voice trembling but resolute. "I will marry you, but on one condition. You must not interfere with my personal life." Ethan nodded, a faint, unreadable smile playing on his lips. "The deal is done. Welcome to my world, Anna." Anna entered Ethan Carter's luxurious mansion, where everything radiated opulence and power. The estate was perched on a hill, with a marble-paved entrance and walls adorned with priceless artwork. Yet amidst the grandeur, Anna felt more out of place than ever. Life in this mansion felt like a gilded cage, where she constantly had to remind herself that this marriage was nothing more than a transaction. Ethan, maintaining his pretense of being disabled, projected an image of frailty in Anna's eyes. He remained in his wheelchair at all times, carefully concealing the truth about his health. Occasionally, he orchestrated unexpected situations to test Anna's sincerity, wanting to determine if her care stemmed from genuine compassion or was simply part of the bargain. Despite these manipulations, he kept his distance, avoiding unnecessary conversations and silently observing her actions. Anna, though lacking romantic feelings for Ethan, cared for him with remarkable tenderness and dedication. Every morning, she would wheel him out to the garden behind the mansion, ensuring he could enjoy the fresh air. She checked on his meals, monitored his medication, and ensured his comfort, even when he rarely asked for her help. Once, when Ethan deliberately dropped his handkerchief, Anna gently picked it up and placed it back in his hand with a warm smile. "You need to keep your hands warm. It's a bit chilly today," she said softly. These small but heartfelt gestures left Ethan with a growing sense of guilt. He knew Anna had sacrificed so much to step into this marriage, and her care wasn't born out of obligation or greed, but from her inherently kind and empathetic nature. Despite the numerous challenges Ethan subtly placed to test her sincerity, Anna consistently proved herself impervious to the temptations of wealth and power. Once, Ethan handed her a limitless credit card and said, "You can use this whenever you want, for anything you desire." Anna calmly pushed the card back toward him and replied firmly, "I only need enough to take care of my father and cover basic necessities. I don't need anything more." Her resolute attitude left Ethan genuinely surprised. Most women he had encountered were easily enchanted by his immense fortune, but Anna was different. Even without loving him, she fulfilled her responsibilities with grace and integrity. Yet Anna maintained a clear distance from Ethan. She avoided any intimate gestures he occasionally tried to create, reminding herself that this marriage was a deal, and allowing emotions to complicate it would only make things worse. Deep down, she still clung to the memory of Ryan, her former lover, and felt pangs of guilt every time she thought of him. During the quiet days in the mansion, Ethan gradually realized that Anna was more than just a wife in name. Her patience and gentleness began to chip away at the emotional walls he had built. However, Ethan continued to guard his secret. He knew that if the truth about his fabricated disability came to light too soon, everything could fall apart, and he might lose the chance for Anna to genuinely trust him. Life at the mansion carried on in a complex stillness. Ethan persisted in testing Anna's loyalty, while Anna, despite keeping her emotional distance, cared for him as a true partner would. Through these trials, neither realized that their transactional relationship was leading them toward an unforeseen turning point. Nathan couldn't conceal his fury upon learning that Ethan had gotten married and met the conditions to retain his inheritance. His jealousy and ambition burned brighter than ever. He didn't just want the wealth, he wanted to destroy Ethan, the man he believed had stolen every opportunity from him. Realizing time was running out, Nathan immediately put a devious plan into motion to defeat Ethan once and for all. First, Nathan hired a private investigator to closely monitor Ethan and Anna's lives. He sought to uncover any weakness to bring Ethan down. Images of their lavish lifestyle were quickly captured, from extravagant dinners in the opulent mansion to Anna's private moments. Suspicious of Ethan faking his disability, Nathan instructed the investigator to track him closely, searching for evidence to expose the truth. Not stopping there, Nathan leveraged his connections to spread malicious rumors about Anna. Tabloid newspapers and social media exploded with articles insinuating that Anna was a gold digger who married Ethan solely for his wealth. These articles even fabricated claims that she had betrayed Ryan to chase after money. "A young woman with ambition abandons love to step into the world of the rich," the headlines read. These stories quickly went viral, drawing public attention and triggering a wave of criticism. Anna, unaccustomed to public scrutiny, felt the heavy burden of judgment. Curious stares and whispered gossip followed her every time she stepped outside, leaving her feeling utterly isolated. Despite the pressure, Anna tried to remain calm. She refrained from telling Ethan about the rumors or the suspicion-filled gazes she endured. She knew he was busy with his own plans to protect himself and his inheritance. Instead, she told herself, "I'm doing this for my father. What others think doesn't matter." Ethan, however, through his quiet observations, began to realize that Anna was under far more pressure than he had imagined. Though she said nothing, he saw the exhaustion and hurt in her eyes. For the first time, he felt a pang of guilt for dragging her into this battle. One evening, Ethan took Anna out onto the mansion's balcony. He said, "I know what people are saying about you. If you want to leave, I won't stop you." Anna looked at him, her eyes shining with determination. "I chose to stay, and I won't change my decision because of a few words from strangers, but I hope you'll keep your promise, not to let anyone ruin my family." Ethan nodded, feeling for the first time that a mutual trust was forming between them. However, he also knew Nathan wouldn't give up so easily. New schemes were undoubtedly on the horizon, and Ethan had to prepare for the battles ahead. Under the moonlight, Ethan and Anna stood side by side. Neither of them realized that amidst the trials and conspiracies closing in, a deeper connection between them was slowly taking root. The soft hues of the setting sun filtered through the windows of Ethan Carter's luxurious mansion, casting a warm glow across his study. Anna, carrying a stack of documents in her arms, approached to place them on his desk. She knocked lightly but heard no response. Assuming Ethan might be out, she gently pushed the door open and stepped inside. What she saw made her heart stop. Ethan, the man she believed to be disabled, stood upright, moving naturally around his desk without a wheelchair. Anna's hands clenched tightly around the stack of documents, a whirlwind of betrayal and confusion surging within her. You can stand?" she asked, her voice trembling, her eyes brimming with hurt. Ethan froze mid-step and turned to face her. His expression shifted from shock to a somber realization. He knew there was no hiding it any longer. Letting out a deep sigh, he walked back to his chair and slowly sat down. "Yes, I can. I'm not disabled," he admitted, his voice heavy with sorrow. Anna stared at him, her eyes filled with disappointment. "Why? Why would you lie to me? Didn't you think I deserved to know the truth?" Ethan remained silent for a moment, as if searching for the right words. Finally, he spoke, his tone deliberate and laden with emotion. Anna, you have every right to be angry. I deceived you, but I never did it to hurt you. It all started with Nathan. He tried to kill me to claim the inheritance. After narrowly surviving, I realized I had to protect myself and my family's legacy. Pretending to be weak was the only way to make him drop his guard. Anna's gaze remained fixed on him, her heart torn between anger and empathy. Ethan paused, his eyes lowering to the floor. Anna, it wasn't just about faking a disability. I used you too. I made you part of my plan. I needed a wife to secure the inheritance, and I dragged you into a marriage you never wanted. I know it was wrong, but I had no other choice. His voice softened, and for the first time, Anna saw a vulnerability in Ethan's usually cold demeanor. You don't know what it's like to live my life. Everything revolves around money, power, and manipulative relationships. I've faced schemes from my own family, and I couldn't trust anyone. Ethan's confession cut through Anna like a sharp blade. She had never imagined that behind his steely exterior was a man carrying such heavy burdens. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Why deceive me? Anna asked, her voice quieter now but still tinged with disappointment. Ethan raised his head, his eyes meeting hers. Because I was afraid. At first I didn't trust you, but when I started to, I feared that if you knew the truth, you'd leave. I couldn't bear the thought of losing you, even just as a companion. You're the only person I can trust right now. Anna stood silently, her heart a chaotic mix of emotions. She had every right to leave, to blame Ethan, but the image of him standing alone, bearing all this pain and danger, stirred a sense of compassion within her that she couldn't suppress. I used to think you were just a cold and calculating man, Anna said, her voice trembling slightly. But now I see you're just a human being trying to protect what matters most. Ethan looked at her, his eyes filled with a mix of surprise and gratitude. Anna took a deep breath, steadying herself. I am deeply disappointed, Ethan, but I won't leave. Not because of any obligation, but because I see that you need someone to stand by you, and I can't turn my back on you now. A wave of warmth swept through Ethan as he listened to her words. He realized how fortunate he was to have Anna in his life, even under these circumstances. Anna turned and left the room, her thoughts weighed down by the revelation. Yet in her heart, a faint glimmer of light began to shine. She didn't know what the future held, but she knew they needed each other to weather the storms ahead. What do you think of this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story with others. Nathan decided to hold a press conference to bring Ethan down. The event was held in a luxurious hotel in the heart of the city. The flashing lights of cameras and the clicking sounds of reporters setting up their equipment created an atmosphere of tension. On stage, Nathan appeared with a smug look, his perfectly tailored suit enhancing his image as a victor. Today, Nathan began, his voice confident and resonant, I will unveil a shocking truth about the man you have all admired, Ethan Carter. A truth that, once revealed, will make you rethink everything you know about him. Nathan continued to elaborate on Ethan's alleged deception, accusing him of faking a disability to manipulate the public and secure his inheritance. He presented a series of carefully edited images and videos, painting Ethan as a cunning fraud. Ethan Carter does not deserve his position, and I, Nathan Carter, am the only rightful heir. Below the stage, murmurs spread among the reporters, who furiously scribbled notes and snapped photos. But just as the tension peaked, Ethan entered the room. He appeared in his familiar wheelchair, with Anna by his side, her eyes resolute and unwavering. Ethan surveyed the room, moving steadily toward the stage. His calm voice cut through the murmurs. Nathan, you've gone too far this time. The room fell silent, all eyes turning to Ethan. Anna gave him a reassuring glance before stepping up onto the stage to stand beside him. Nathan, Ethan said, his voice firm and composed, you thought today would be the day you topple me, but you've forgotten that I'm not as weak as you think. Let me reveal the truths you've tried to hide. Ethan signaled to his team, and the large screen behind him lit up, displaying the evidence he and his team had meticulously gathered. The footage revealed Nathan secretly meeting with former employees of Carter Industries, negotiating large sums in exchange for internal information. An audio recording captured Nathan explicitly plotting Ethan's assassination, sending shockwaves through the room. "I have spent my life protecting my family's legacy," Ethan declared, his gaze fixed on Nathan. "But you, Nathan, have sought only to destroy it for your selfish ambitions?" Nathan, visibly agitated, tried to interrupt. "This is all lies. None of it is true." But the evidence was undeniable. Reporters bombarded Nathan with questions, demanding explanations for his exposed misconduct. Anna stood beside Ethan, her expression firm yet calm, though her voice carried the weight of righteous anger. "Nathan Carter not only betrayed his family, but also tried to use me to attack Ethan. But we refused to stay silent. This is the time for justice." As the evidence continued to roll out, the room's opinion shifted decisively. Nathan's desperate attempts to refute the claims fell on deaf ears. Representatives from the police, invited by Ethan, stepped forward to announce that Nathan was under investigation for crimes including attempted murder and corruption. Handcuffs clicked onto Nathan's wrists, and he was led away amidst the stunned silence of the reporters. For a moment, the room remained quiet until a few scattered claps erupted, gradually building into a round of applause. Ethan turned to Anna, feeling the weight of her support and trust. She offered a faint smile as if to say that their efforts had been worth it. As Nathan was escorted out, Ethan sat tall, his eyes gleaming with renewed confidence. "Not only have I preserved my inheritance," he told the reporters, "but I have reclaimed my honor. And more importantly, I know I've done what's right." The press conference ended with Ethan's unequivocal triumph. He had not only safeguarded his rightful legacy, but also demonstrated his resilience and courage in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. And for the first time, with Anna by his side, he no longer felt alone. After the dramatic press conference, life for Ethan and Anna slowly began to return to normal. Nathan was prosecuted with a slew of charges, and Ethan not only retained his inheritance, but also restored his reputation. More importantly, the relationship between Ethan and Anna began to deepen in unexpected ways. In the days that followed, Ethan continued his disciplined lifestyle, engrossed in work and plans to rebuild his family's legacy. However, he began to dedicate more time to Anna. No longer maintaining the distance he once did, Ethan started sharing stories of his childhood and memories of his grandfather, the man he deeply respected. These small anecdotes revealed a warmer, more compassionate side of Ethan that Anna had never seen before. Anna, too, underwent a transformation. No longer reserved and distant as she had been at the start of their marriage, she began to take small but meaningful steps toward building a real connection. Every morning, she prepared breakfast for Ethan before he left for work. Quietly, she adjusted the decor of the mansion, adding touches that made the space feel more like a home. These changes didn't go unnoticed by Ethan, who felt the mansion transform from a cold fortress into a place filled with warmth and life. One afternoon, as golden sunlight bathed the garden, Ethan found Anna tending to the flower beds she had recently planted. He approached her, his gaze contemplative but tender. "Anna," he called softly, drawing her attention, "I used to think this marriage was just a transaction, but now I realize it has given me something far more valuable than wealth or status." Anna smiled faintly, though her eyes betrayed a hint of uncertainty. "Ethan, I'm grateful for everything you've done for my family, but She hesitated, searching for the right words. Ethan interrupted her gently. "Anna, I don't want you to feel indebted to me anymore. From now on, everything between us is not about obligation. It's about choice." He pulled a small box from his pocket. Opening it, he revealed a simple yet elegant ring, the metal gleaming softly in the sunlight. "I want to propose to you, not because of the will or because I need a wife. I want to propose because I love you. All I want now is to have you by my side, not as a temporary companion, but forever." Anna froze, overwhelmed by a mix of surprise and emotion. Her heart, once anchored by memories of Ryan, whom she had thought was her one true love, had now made room for Ethan. He had shown her that he was not just a husband by circumstance, but a man capable of protecting and cherishing her. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice trembling as tears glistened in her eyes, "I choose you too, Not because of my family, but because of me. Ethan slipped the ring onto her finger, his eyes shining with a happiness he could no longer hide. He pulled her close, his hand clasping hers tightly. One day Anna stood in the living room, her fingers lightly resting on a newly framed photograph. It was their first picture together, taken during a celebratory event marking the revival of Carter Industries. She gazed at the photo, her lips curling into a gentle smile as warmth filled her heart, something she had never anticipated in this unconventional marriage. Ethan entered the room and saw her lost in thought. "Anna, what's on your mind?" he asked, his tone soft and curious. Anna turned to him, her eyes filled with sincerity. "I'm thinking about everything we've been through and what lies ahead. I never thought a transactional marriage could bring me so many emotions." Ethan stepped closer, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "I never imagined finding love in such an unusual way either. But Anna, I'm certain of one thing. You're the woman who completes me." Anna felt his warmth, her heart racing yet comforted. "I believe we can face anything together, Ethan, because now I'm not just your wife, I'm your true partner." Ethan smiled, a rare and genuine expression. "Then let's build a better life together, not for the legacy or the fame, but for us." As time passed, they built not only their love, but also a shared vision for the future. Together, they poured their efforts into expanding Carter Industries with sustainable innovations that gave back to society. They became an admired couple, not just for their success, but for the sincere love they shared. Their story doesn't end here, as life continues with challenges and joys awaiting them. But one thing is certain, Ethan and Anna discovered something more valuable than all else. Love is not just a destination, but a journey. Thank you for following our story. What score would you give this tale from 1 to 10? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Your feedback means the world to us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, and share this story with others.